What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Getting back onto the 370 again for round 3 of the SDMA Hill Climb series, which is coming up this weekend. Just want to put a new clutch into the car because we know that was definitely slipping leading into round 2. I've been testing on and off the 3D printed intakes. I've had people say that they won't work, the heat will be too high, but that's not the issue I've been facing. So I found the ABS and the ASA plastics definitely hold up to the temperature. I took the car out for a drive on the hottest day we've had recently. I think it was like 36 degrees outside. Now the intake tubes got to 83 degrees and ASA plastic is stable to 94 degrees and ABS is stable to 100 degrees. So as far as that side of it goes, there's no problems. I just had pod filters on there, which is similar to what a lot of the kits run. They just run the pod filters in the engine bay itself, whereas ultimately I want to run through the radiator support and run the filters in front. But yeah, as I say, for the testing purposes of the plastics, I just ran pod filters directly in the engine bay. And I have a feeling that that's probably my main issue. So the symptom I was suffering was you'd be driving along and you load the car up and like really labour the car and then try and do a pull. And every now and then it would really like hesitate. It felt really flat, like it was going into like a air intake sort of engine protection mode, I guess. Because I'd imagine with the intake tubes being so hot, that the air going in, even though it's not, you know, charged air, would definitely be going to the upper level of what the computer would like to see. So I've been reluctant to keep trying with it, so I took them off. But it's a much colder week here now, so I might put those intake pods back on just with the filters again in the engine bay, obviously with the theory of the hot air. Being a much cooler day, if it doesn't have that sort of boggy sort of issue, like where it falls on its face, well then I know it is just air intake temperature issue, and so therefore I'll proceed with putting the cold air intake in front of the radiator. Obviously the ultimate thing is get all this done and then get a ECU tune. I have been in contact with Jez from DVS Tuning, so that'll be on the cards at some point. Anyway, I might play with that a little bit, just to, you know, sort of prove my theories about the intake temperature. I want to put a aftermarket steering wheel on. So yeah, like I've got a Boss kit here and a quick release. I probably won't use the quick release because ultimately I'm trying to save weight. That's the main reason for changing the steering wheel. Get rid of the airbag and save a bit of weight. So yeah, so I plan to fit that up. I've got, yeah, just a basic 350 dish steering wheel as well. So I'll probably hit up Zoo Performance for one of theirs. I love the feel of their steering wheel. So, you know, swapping out the steering wheel and going for, yeah, like an aftermarket Boss kit and steering wheel, you'll run into an issue with the airbag. Because you're removing the airbag, you'll end up with the airbag light on the dash. So I'll go through how to eliminate that with some resistors and such. So we'll go from there. Anyway, I've waffled on enough, so let's get into it. Okay, so the job on the agenda today is replace the clutch. Anyone that's been following along, you would have known I've had a bit of a slipping clutch with the 370. My good sponsor, Pete from Textralia, they don't normally do a 370 clutch, but when I reached out to him, he said, look, leave it with me and I'll see what I can do. And so this basically is a sprung center. So I like the sprung center. I run that in my twin supercharged LS as well. So I've basically requested a sprung center and the same pucks as well that I run in all my drift cars actually. So, but definitely. So I don't know if you guys all know, but I run this exact thing, but obviously bigger. I run a single plate in the twin supercharged 8.6, and that's been good for power, anywhere from like 850 through to 1,000 horsepower, and I'll get 2 seasons out of it. So yeah, anyway, so I reached out to him, and being the legend that he is, he came up with this, made that for me, and sent it down. So yeah, now the plan's to get the car up on the hoist, drop the box, and get this plate fitted up. I'll grind the flywheel as well, and we'll go from there. Alright, after speaking to Pete from Texturalia about the dual mass flywheel, we both agree that we want to get rid of that and find a billet flywheel, but for the purposes of getting the car back on the road now, what he said is because it's a fibre plate, so basically, yeah, because it's like this fibre plate, they don't really hurt the surfaces of the pressure plate or the flywheel. So he said as long as there's no big gouges or anything in the flywheel, just yeah, resurface it and chuck it back in. So I'm just going to give it a sand and put it all back in. Okay. Okay, so that's the cold air intake pods put back on. I've run the ABS again. I think it's like 20 degrees outside, so obviously the air coming into the engine bay should be much cooler. So this will let me know if my theory about you know, too hot air sucking from the engine bay on a 36-degree day was what was making it yeah, not perform very well, having that big flat spot. So yeah, if there's no flat spot, well then we know that putting the pods in front of the radiator will make all the difference. All right, let's go and have a try. Okay, that seems to be a success. So basically, I just took it for a test drive. It's 16 degrees outside as opposed to 36 when I did the first test. So yeah, 16 degrees, so therefore the air just in general is a lot cooler. The intake pipes were running around 20 degrees cooler as well. So 80, they were 80, 85. The other day when it was quite hot, and at the moment they're at around sort of 60 to 65. and yeah, 0 flat spots. So it was pulling strong right through the range. So yeah, my suspicion was, I think, correct, and that is that the reason I was getting the flat spot, sure, it needs a tune, like to get the best out of it, but the reason I was having such a hard time the other day was having these pod filters just sitting in the engine bay again, which was just to test the piping. Yeah, it was just sucking in way too much hot air. So I'd say it was going into a part of the map, which was going into like an intake protection, like air intake temperature protection map. So if I run now the tubing through here in front of the radiator, I'm pretty sure that'll work. So yeah, success.
Great success.
All right, so the next thing I want to do is fit an aftermarket steering wheel. Now, obviously the 370 has an airbag. That's one of the reasons I want to put the aftermarket steering wheel as well, is just take a bit of the weight out of the car wherever you can, being a track sort of dedicated car. Now, what you'll have happen is though, once you take the airbag out, you'll end up with an airbag light on your dash, which some people doesn't bother, but me, that kind of stuff annoys the heck out of me. So the way to I guess circumnavigate that is you need to complete the circuit where the airbag was normally plugged in, and the way we do that is with these little guys. So these are from J-Car Electric, not too sure if you can see that. So the specs are there and the colors. So these guys are 2.2 ohm resistors. I know some places you can get 2 ohm, and 2 ohm, you know, definitely does the job, but all I had there was 2.2 ohm. So all you do is you complete the circuit where the airbag normally would be sitting, and 2 ohms is enough to trick the body control module into thinking it's got an airbag there. So it turns the light off. So, all right, let's get into that. Okay, so the first thing we do is disconnect the battery. You don't want the airbag going off in your face. All right, so the first thing we do is we take the airbag out, which is a couple little plastic plugs just under here. I haven't replaced the wheel, but I just wanted to show you how to fix the airbag light. So what you need is, so these little guys here. So what you do, I'll try and bring you in a bit closer, but I need both hands. So this is not going to be permanent, but it's just going to show you how to do it. Obviously, if you want to do it permanent, you've got to actually solder this into a set of wires, and then you actually plug them into these 2 pins. So what you do, you put it into here, like that, like that. All right, so what that does effectively is complete the circuit, and gives the SRS computer the right amount of resistance, so it thinks there's an airbag there. So what you'll find though, just doing that alone won't be enough to do it if you've accidentally you know, turned your ignition on or something while you've got your wheel off, or just sometimes even if you've got the battery disconnected, it'll still do it. So when you start her up, or go to start it up, you've got your airbag light here. Actually, I'll yeah, so it's blinking there. So let's take you off and try and show you up. All right, so you've got the blinking airbag light there. A whole lot of that. And so even if you start it up, you're stuck with the blinking airbag light. So, all right. So first thing you've got to do is, I'll try my best here. So obviously just your start stop button. So I'll talk you through the procedure. When you turn your ignition on, you press it twice, and you'll obviously you get a red light on the dash. The airbag light on the dash. The second you wait for it, the second it turns off, before it goes into the failure blink mode, which I'll just show you now. So it's on. and then it goes off. Now it starts to blink to say, hey, I don't have an airbag there. So what you do, is you've got to do this procedure 4 times. So press it twice, wait for it to go off. The second it goes off, turn off. Now you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Repeat, 2 clicks. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 clicks. Wait for it. Off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 clicks. Off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that should be it. Let's start up. And there you go. So no airbag light. So yeah, there you go. Hopefully that helps some of you guys out. So what seems like it's a major thing to try and fix, it's quite simple. Just a 2 ohm resistor, complete the circuit, do the procedure I just showed you there with the on off. So again, you just turn the ignition on, so your two presses, wait for your airbag light to stay on, and the second it goes off, you've got to turn the ignition off, count to 5. Now you do that 4 times, no airbag light. Okay, and just like that, we have an adapter made. So that'll go on here, bolt to that, and that'll convert to what I want. So yeah, as I was saying before, I didn't want to run this on top of that as well, just to get the bolt pattern I wanted. It would have brought the steering wheel way too close. All right, let's bolt this up. All right, now for the moment of truth. And no dash light. All right, cool beans. All right, time to empty the car out and get it ready for tomorrow. All right, that's another week in the garage, done and dusted. A little bit light on content, as I sort of talked about before. But yeah, got a little bit done and got a hill climb coming up this weekend. And yeah, let's see how we go. Remember, treat people how you'd like to be treated and be good. Thanks for watching, guys. You.